guys, welcome back. This is my One Book July setup, and I also thought I would show you what I've been doing in this book in June. Obviously it's going to change a little bit for July, but the basic premise of how I'm thinking of setting it up is going to go in here. Obviously, as soon as I have set it up for July, because it's only like the 25th or something at the moment, as soon as I have set it up for July, I will show you that as well. I will be using as my colour choice, I'll be using my watercolours. This is because I'm teaching in July this month, which I don't normally do, so I have to have that. I'm also using, at the moment, I think this pen, which is a no brand 0.38 gel pen, metallic gel pen. It's similar to a Calito, but it's waterproof ink. I will be using that, provided it doesn't run out before I actually start the challenge, because I've still got 5 days and it's possible that I'll run out of ink. If I do run out of ink, I will either be using my carbon pen, fountain pen, or I will use something like a ballpoint pen, something like this, just a cheapo thing. I don't want anything fancy. I added a hairband to my big chunky Believe journal here with my German Shepherd ring on it, and I've also got my Hobonichi pen clip. That goes on the front, and obviously whatever pen I use will be able to fit into there, like so. Depending on which pen I use, I may or may not be able to keep it in there. I need a lid for that one. This one fits in quite well, so that'll work nicely. I want to not have to carry a big case around with me because the bag I'm using at the moment is quite small, so I'm using the opportunity to be able to carry this around as my one planner in a small bag. So let's have a look inside. I've stuck these page flags to the inside here. I've been using those for various different bits and pieces. I've got this is just a card by Sarah Lucas. Yeah, Sarah Lucas. It's a Fallen Angel. I really like it. Martin gave me that, and I rather like the colours, and it's pretty. And I'll use that for hiding bits and pieces I don't want you to see. I've also stuck a couple of post-it notes on here that I've already used. I've got page flags, I've got various different bits and pieces. I'm not really using the built-in bookmarks. I find they get in the way a bit. I'm not a big fan of built-in bookmarks. I think I might put them at the back at this is my pen testing page, where I can see what bleeds and what doesn't. And as you can see, not a lot bleeds through this paper. My Pentel Japanese brush pen bled a little bit, but not horrendously. You can see there's just a little bit of bleeding there. And my Stabilo bled a tiny bit, but only where I kept it on the page. And obviously my alcohol markers bled. But for the most part, everything else is doing quite well, so I'm quite happy with it. What I actually want to do, rather than just using this for July, is I want to use it until I finish it. I just want the challenge of seeing how long it'll take me to finish this book, because I've not used this size before, and I've never had the opportunity to have one so chunky. I did have the MacLeod square grid Hobonichi style one, but that's like double the size. It's actually that big, so I'm still filling that one. It's a humongous book, but I like this one because it's nice and small. It can fit in my hand, even though it's actually really light, considering, because the paper is so thin. It's actually lighter than my Filofax. So if you're worried about getting one because it's a bit chunky and thick and it'd be heavy to carry, actually the bigger problem is your purse big enough to put this in? I've got a few pages, including my front page here, I'm just covering up my phone number there, that are kind of in progress. I've just put in various random stickers and things that I find that I like on the front page, and obviously when I finish the journal I will put in the end date. I've got my June calendar, which I have already drawn out, obviously. I've got a little page flag there that I can easily get to it, because you know I like my bottom tabs, being a lefty, I like my bottom tabs to find things. I've got a little pink post-it note here with July stuff on, because I don't really have that much forward planning, so I put that in July so that I didn't immediately have to draw July in as well. And this is just very basic forward planning, a running list of, you know, when I've paid my rent and when I've paid other things. And I've started putting in here, you see little boxes with days of the week in. That is my YouTube videos that I've put up. So I'm aiming to do 3 a week. Got a little bit behind this week because I had a personal thing come up on Wednesday and Thursday. So I should have put this video up on, I should have put the first One Book July video up on Wednesday, but I'm putting them both up today instead. And then at the bottom of each square, I just write in there, you know, what the video was that I did. I have been writing in pencil or writing on a post-it and putting in here what video I plan to do for the day, but I haven't always stuck to that. Then I've got my weeks, and I actually backdated a week. So this week I'd already done in my DIY fish, and I just copied it over because I wanted to just see how it would all fit. Would I have enough room on this page for my bullet journaling? It's the basic standard thing that I always use. I've got a week to view for appointments and time sensitive stuff, and I've got my right hand page for bullet journals, and I add on extra pages, as you'll see, if I need it. I don't leave an extra space. I've got, you know, this is week 1, week 2, week 3. I don't leave an extra space for it. I've got all my weeks together in that one little bit. So I put a tab on here for June for my first week. And as you can see, you know, the usual diary stickers. I cut this bit of paper out to put my shopping lists on this area because it was a big blank, and I thought, well, I'll use that for shopping lists. And this was originally loose. It was just held on with a paper clip. Again, I'll show you that in a minute. So that I could take this out and put it in my wallet, because I use my passport Midori as a wallet. Currently, I have in here I have all my cards and things. I also have a little mini diary, which is just like a monthly calendar for forward planning, and a notebook section. I don't really use the notebook an awful lot. It's really just if I'm out and I have a meeting. Obviously, if I'm out and have a meeting, I will probably have this with me, so I'll put my notes in here, but I'm not going to take this apart just because of One Book July. I will basically just not use the notes section. So I've still got my forward planning in here, so if I need to make a dentist appointment or a hair appointment or anything, I can still put it in here. I can still see what I've got booked, but I won't be using this notebook section. I'll leave that for July. So there's a slight change to my One Book July, but like I said, if you've got a system that already works, don't change it. Just for the sake of One Book July. And this wallet works for me because if nothing else, I can just take this on my phone and I don't have to have anything else with me. And just that is enough. I can just put that in my bag and go. So that system is staying, but again, only for appointments and things. The chances are I'll have this anyway, so I won't need to use that booklet at all, but I'm going to see how it goes. So then I've got my next week, again, just adding bits in. I had a few things that I needed to do. Again, I had a shopping list, I had errands to run when I was out. So again, I put this on with a paper clip initially, and then at the end of the week I just stuck it in with a tape runner so that I have my errands, because I had a big space here, and I thought, well, I can stick washi tape on it, or I can just stick this on. And this made more sense. I'm using a basic bullet journal system. Up until this week I had been doing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But because I have time sensitive stuff over here and appointments over here, I don't really need to do that. So for this week I've actually been, I've just got the whole week in together. I haven't split it up, which gives me 5 extra lines to write on, basically. So I put the dates 22nd to the 28th of June, and then I've just been doing my bullet journaling down here. And that allows me to kind of swap things over and say, well, I wanted to do this today, but I ended up doing it tomorrow, or I've already done that and I did it yesterday, so I can cross it off, but it's on today's list or whatever. It's a bit easier for me to work with. I'm using my little page flags, my mini page flags. I've got these in all sorts of different colours. Where did I put them? There we go. I've got them in all different colours, widths, everything. I've got the big ones, I've got the little ones, I've got the post-it versions. I love these things. I use these things all the time for various different stuff. So, and they're reusable, and I can move them about, or I can just leave them stuck on, or I can stick them down permanently. It saves me having to carry highlighters around, and these are pennies. I mean, it's not like these are expensive. Myself and Tracy Fox, every time we see a set, we pick them up. So we've got little thin ones, we've got arrows, we've got thick ones, we've got sets of 12 colours, we've got the post-it note ones, we've got the clear ones, and we always pick up two so that we've both got a set because we both use them all the time. And these sets are like, you can buy them in your local supermarket here for like 30p. Asda do a set of 6 different colours for, I think, 50 pence. And you get 100 of each one. So it's... They're nothing. It's actually cheaper than highlighters. So anyway, that's my setup, my day stuff, the stuff that I have to do today, the stuff that I need to get done this week. The highlighters on this side are what I'm working on currently, or what I need to work on next. So in my classwork section, which is always orange, I need to go and work on some critiques, and I need to do my book review for Susie Blue's book, which is the one that everybody asked for first, The Mixed Media Girls. That's in pink because it's YouTube. Yeah, and there's my errands list. And I also started using these little post-its because they got 3 check marks. I started using those as my today's top priorities. So that's from Tuesday. I didn't have top priorities on Wednesday and Thursday because, like I say, something personal came up. But today I have top priorities, so I'll choose my 3 top priorities that I must do today, and I will write them on. And when I've finished them, I will mark them off. As I said, this is just my errands list. So if I need to take it with me, I can just take it, shove it in my purse, and go. I don't need to take my whole book. I've got next week already gridded out, which is just the first 2 days, but I'm wondering if I might actually finish up, because I'm doing July as well. I might finish July here, or I might make notes for things for June and then move to the end of my journal section for July when I'm finished with what I'm doing. Oh, sorry, we lost focus there. I might move to put July down here. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I've got my grid paper, which is my pull out from my Leuchtturm, and I've just folded it up so that it fits in here so that I can use it. It's just about thin enough to see the grid, so yeah, I can use that. And I've just got that right the way through to the end of the month when my journaling starts. It's stuck together with my little clip. Look at that, it's a little dachshund, isn't it cute? Oh. Lee sent me those. They're just adorable. I've got a few different colours of them and they're just so cute. But he's rather useful for just keeping all these bits and pieces of paper together and keeping the week together that I don't need to have available, just so I've got it all here. And then I've been using, she also sent me one of these little mini Ollie clips. I've not used these Ollie clips before, but actually they're pretty good. The magnets are really, really strong. I didn't bother getting any because I was a bit, well, it's a magnet clip, you know, whatever. I've got about 4,000 of those. But they're really strong, and because this is flexible, you can actually fit quite a few in. So, I don't know, I might get hold of Daniel and see if I can get hold of a bigger one and see how that works. And I've just been using that to clip previous weeks together. So, I've got June here and then I've got this week. but it's still really easy to flip back. I can just pull this off and flip back and say, oh, what was I still working on last week, you know. Although I have actually pulled most things forward. I've got a few bits to do that I need to pull forward for into July. But other than that, most of it's already finished. I just haven't marked it off. So that's my planning section for June. And then I've got my journal. And I've got other stuff that I didn't have room to put in here. Like, for instance, I had some house jobs I needed to do in my first week here. Hanging paintings. I just did that last night, so I can cross that one off. I still got to put some boxes under the bed and things like that, you know, buy trellis for the dogs, things like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this. This is just my basic normal book journal, bit of collage, bit of photos, bit of writing, bit of sketching, some magazine pullouts, and I'm just going to put that postcard in there because that's a personal page. So there you go, that's Mondays. This is what I'm using those page flags for just putting dates on and things like that. I kind of wish I'd put my coloured ones in here, my highlighter ones. I think that might have been more sensible, but whatever. It'll work for now. So more bits and pieces. Look at these little puppies, aren't they cute? Look, he's got a little kennel and everything. Renee sent me these from Korea. She's my pen pal. And they're just little sticky flags. They're doggy sticky flags, and I've been sticking them everywhere because they look like Maddie, don't they? I think they do. Just reminds me of Maddie. She's over there asleep right now on her new bed. And I think Scooby's out in the garden, but I'm not sure. Bit of collaging. I think this is a blank page. I've got something to stick in there, but it was personal, so I haven't stuck it in yet. Some drawing. This was done with my carbon ink pen and my watercolour set, and if you look back on my video, actually I'll link the video below because I actually did this as a journal with me page. So more photos, another page of bits that I'm sticking in. I actually want to draw her, but I haven't got round to it yet, but I specifically want to draw her on that page. My quote from Edie Cornoya over at Mixed Mediology here on YouTube. How to take a compliment. Oh yes. I finished reading 11/22/63 by Stephen King, so I used my post-it note there that says read or read, depending on how you want to pronounce it, with a little mini review because I just finished it then. I've got a collage page going on here about body image. I need to do something here. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. I might draw one of my curvy girls. These are my notes for One Book July. So this is the questions. What is it? One book, one pen, 1 month. Interpret as loosely or rigidly as you like. Ephemera, memorabilia, photos, any paper goods, etc. are allowed, and you can have one colour something. Why are we doing it? To get back to basics. The system. Appreciation of what we use and why. To prove pretty planning doesn't need loads of supplies. To minimise, limit the additional materials. Ask yourself questions. Do I need to colour code? Do I need to carry all these stickies? Do I need 7 planners? Do I need 15 different journals? Small is relative. If you use 3 A5 Filofaxes or 2 Erin Condren day planners, then 1 A5 Moleskine might be small for you. If you use a Field Notes size Traveller's Notebook with 6 books, then perhaps using it with only 2 might be small for you. And number 6, do not interrupt necessary established systems like work, homeschool, study, etc. And then over here, I've drawn my journals and my supplies. So I've got my journal. And I wrote here, obviously I've got my setup and my journal. I wrote here things that I must have, that I know I must have, because obviously I did this last year, so there are certain things I need. I'm going to use my Believe little black journal. It is 6.5 by 4.5, which is 16.5 by 11.5 centimetres. It's got 600 pages, so it can hold everything. It's got 2 bookmarks, it's got gilded edges. It's got really nice paper, which I love, and it's big enough to sketch in. My pen is my A+ 0.38 black gel pen from Staples. It's waterproof, it's got a metal nib, it looks like this. It's got an extra fine point and it doesn't skip, which is good for writing and for drawing. And my notes, I need a monthly setup for future planning and YouTube filming schedules. I need a weekly setup and bullet journal for work, and I need journaling, planning, chronodexing, etc. as needed on a daily basis. So that is my One Book July setup. And I think that's the end of where I've got to at the moment. I've got some more journaling to do before I set up One Book July. We went to see Holmes on Wednesday, Mr. Holmes, with Ian McKellen. Sir Ian McKellen, absolutely stellar performance, awesome film if you ignore the dates. The dates made it a bit confusing, but if you ignore the dates, it's a very, very, very good film. So that is my current journaling that I've been doing for June. As you can see, it's only 2 weeks worth, but I've used quite a bit of it. It's not as much as I would normally use because I just haven't had time. I have not had time. I've been unpacking and moving and all sorts of things, and I haven't had time to do any of this. So now I've got back to my normal schedule. I'm working during the day and I've got the evenings to journal and watch films. Then I will be getting back to this and doing some more in it, and hopefully filming a few more journal with me videos. I mean, obviously for stuff like this, all I did was I stuck in my movie ticket and I wrote about the film. That is not an important bit of journaling for me to put on video. But what I did want to do was draw a picture of Sir Ian McKellen as Mr. Holmes here, and I thought I would, film that for you so you can see what my drawing process is. So that might be something that you might want to set up for yourself. What you're doing, why, all about the challenge, and what book, pen and notes you will need. And something I do with my books, if I've got a big thick book like this, I need to be able to find stuff quickly. Because I'm a lefty, I do write with my right hand, but I'm a left-hander naturally. I was made to write with my right hand at school. Now I can write equally badly with both hands, but if I need to find something quickly, just writing it there makes it so much easier to find it when you're flipping through and you go, where is it, where is it, where is it? There. That's just a little tip. Obviously, if you're right-handed, you might want to write it there, but that's what I do. I also like to use page flags and tabs and things. These are the plastic ones from Post-it, so they are actually quite durable. And I also like my Girl of All Works tabs, but I was a bit worried that with this, with it going in and out of my bags and things, that I might not be able to keep hard tabs. So I've only got the one hard tab at the bottom here, which is actually, it's quite flexible, it bends, so it's not really an issue, it's not going to crack or anything. And then I've got paper page flags at the edges here, which if they get too battered I can cover with tape or I can replace or whatever. So that is my system. That is what I'm going to be using for One Book July. If you have any questions, write them below. Do not stress out about this, okay? Don't, oh, it's a challenge, I've got to do it like this, I've got to do it like that. We had some people getting really stroppy last year and they're like, oh, well, you're not doing the challenge properly because you're not following the rules, you're using more than one pen, or you're using a pen with 3 different colours of ink, so you're cheating. No, you're not. If what is working for you is a small book and 5 colours of pens, and you normally use 3 Filofaxes and a bunch of different coloured pens, then that is small for you. You are paring down to basics, but it's still got to be functional. So if you have to have at least 2 colours, then please don't sweat the small stuff, okay? Add in another colour, make your one pen a multicolour pen with the multicoloured Uniball jet streams or the Calitos or whatever, and do it like that. Or, you know, add in some of these so you can highlight stuff, or add in some colour, add in some watercolours, add in some paper, whatever it is you need, add it in. But start the month with as little as possible so that you know what you need to add in. If you know after 2 days that you cannot function anymore without some sticky page flags, add in your sticky page flags. Or if you know that, well, actually I could do without those as long as I had coloured post-it notes that had tabs on, then, you know, put those in as well and use those. That's fine. Don't feel that you have to follow a certain way of doing things. That's not what this is about. And as I said in my introductory video, I'm paring right down. Okay, I will probably, I think once I add in these and these, possibly this, I don't know, I might not need those if I've got these, or I might need these if I've got those. I don't know what I can write on these with, so it depends. I might ditch these and use these instead. But once I've got those, some kind of tabbed post-it notes, and I've got my little Hobonichi stencils that I use for my bullet journal, that's it, that's all I need. So I'm pretty much ready to go with just that. And I don't need to carry these around with me, I'm just going to stick them in my book for when I need them. So that will be what I'll put in my bag to take with me, or what I'll use when I'm working or whatever, out and about, in the house, going upstairs. You know, normally I carry a big box with me, but this month I don't need to. I can just take this and, you know, occasionally my collage box or scissors or something like that. That's it, that's my setup, or at least that's what I've been doing in June. I will come back and show you my finalised setup once I've got July set up, but obviously I can't set up July until I've finished June. Or until I at least know how much paper I need for June, because I've got some journaling to catch up on tonight. Let me know what you're using, or if you have any questions, put them down below. Don't forget to go and check out Miss Vicky B and Carrie Harling when they put their videos up. I think they're doing them at some point in the next few days, I'm not exactly sure. I wanted to jump in early for those people who were raring to go, and those who are already PMing me going, what's One Book July? I don't understand, because they didn't do it last year. So there we go, there's your introduction. Don't forget you can join us on Facebook, facebook.com/onebookjuly, and you can also check out the playlist. In my playlist videos, I will put it in the description box down below as well. That is #OneBookJuly 2015. If you add that to the title, description or tagline of your video, with or without the hashtag, it will automatically go to my One Book July playlist. Again, link down below. Bye!